What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about B3 today, base. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys, all right? It is the 4th of July. Happy 4th, everybody. Here we are at about $0.025, 5 hours, 57 minutes left in the day. Looking like we are pressing new all-time lows. We probably do get there, in all honesty, but there's some bullish things going on that we should address, and we'll come back to this in a second, but I want to look at the short-term stuff and talk about where we're going first, okay? So on the 1 hour time frame, just so we're prepared, talking about the downside a little bit, we do have a lower low in the RSI here. Some volume's coming in. Okay, so maybe you bounce from here first, right? We're at 0.025 right now. Perhaps what you do is you move up a little bit first from a low to a high. And you don't have to see new all-time lows, but just with what you're doing, how you're grinding it out, I wouldn't be surprised. Bullish divergence on the MACD, nice to see. No bullish divergence on the RSI. Little bullish divergence on the stochastics. 2 out of 3 bullish divergences. That's not bad. And you're pretty oversold on the RSI. So yeah, you probably do come back for a little reversion. Something around 0.0258 to 0.0266, 264, something in that zone. You'll probably find resistance here at the golden ratio, if not at least there at the 382, and then continue to work your way down. That would be my expectation, okay? So over the coming days, maybe even over this weekend, we move up, maybe going over into next week, but I would think we still have lower prices to go next week. Looking at this here, there's no such thing as a quadruple bottom, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? There's no such thing. So we likely will go lower. Moving down like this without volume is a little strange, in my opinion, but perhaps it just validates the idea that this is a rather quote-unquote fake move, and that with fake news, fake moves, we probably will, as soon as we go down, it'll be a fake out, and then we will break out to the upside at a very fast and high velocity, okay? 4 hour MACD is useless because it's just neutral price action, so it's not really going to help us too much, though you are building bearish momentum. Stochastics are oversold, which would imply a reversion at some point, but you can go lower first before going higher. And the RSI would agree as well. Overall, kind of neutral and volatile, but more bearish than bullish, because you can see we're getting oversold, not getting overbought. Even when we don't get oversold, we're rejecting the 60, where we're at least getting toward the oversold zone on the RSI. So my expectation would be that we go just a little bit lower, but maybe higher first and then lower, yeah. I don't think this is going to happen immediately. I don't think it's going to happen today. Probably days from now. Maybe sometime next week that we move lower and we see new all-time lows, okay? So if over the weekend we move up, don't get too excited. Don't get too excited. Here's where the exciting stuff comes in, though, okay? Daily time frame. So the MACD is building bullish momentum as we're dropping down, as we're seeing lower prices. This is actually a really good thing, you guys. It's really good whenever the MACD builds bullish momentum. I mean, we did this here before, didn't we? Yeah. We're at the lows. We saw a lower low, and we're building bullish momentum down here as we're getting lower lows. Look at what happened afterwards, right? We had a nice reversion here. We're building even more bullish momentum. Stochastics have bullish divergence. The RSI, yes, it's diverging, but I wouldn't call that bullish divergence. I would assume that we go down to that oversold zone, and we're set to find support probably right above it or right at it, higher lows overall, and we're looking to turn the tide, okay? Any day, any week now, probably not any day now, let's say any week now. It could be next week that we really start to move up, if not the following week. But we have a little bit more to go. You look at the 3-day time frame, it looks even better in my opinion, because again, you've got this bullish momentum building as you're coming down. That's very bullish, you guys. Stochastics have been oversold for a while. RSI is showing bullish divergence, right? I would imagine that we do see some relief here pretty soon. Now, the trick here is that we need to break out of this downward sloping trend line, right? We need to break out of that. I didn't draw it completely accurately, but let's just see. What price would I like to see us get above? From a high to a low here, and we probably go lower, so this might not be completely accurate. Let's just say we go a little bit lower. What would be a good price to go to? Low to high here. It's probably the 1414 area, right? Let's do that. And then I'll delete this fib real quick. Deleting that. I would like to see us get above 0.058, okay? If we can do that, new all-time highs. However, if we find turbulence in this area here, or we wick up to the 0.058, then we find turbulence in this area, whatever it is, between 0.051 to 0.04435, 0.0435 and 0.052, actually, let's say. If we find resistance in that area and we come back down to this area, we'd have to start having a serious discussion that this thing might be off the table. It might actually be time to let it go, right? Something to consider. right? In other words, when the rest of the market starts performing, you better perform as well. If not, if all we get is some wimpy move and then back to the depths, we'll have a point where we can sell before, at a higher price, or at least at a neutral price where we bought in this area. And ideally just, walk away, not completely unscathed, but at least mitigate the damage to some degree, right? I'm not considering that happens. I don't consider that this thing's dead in the water. I think that there's a lot going for it, and I think that it will continue to grow, but I can be wrong. And there's plenty of projects that have had great fundamentals, that are not scams, that they put in the work, it's a great idea, and they don't work out, man. It's the same thing with businesses, right? 90% of businesses fail, and not all businesses are scams. They just, they don't have the right management and or the right mission or way of achieving that mission. So you got to achieve something. The best way to validate that you're achieving something is get above that low there, okay, or that high there. Get above that high. Get above 0.0058, and if you can't do that, we'll have a different conversation in a couple of weeks here, but I would assume that we would at least go up around that area, okay? I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, please. Subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. Thank you all. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.